Hey everyone, and welcome to Connect. Quest 2 is the first virtual reality device to go mainstream.
About 1 in 3 apps in the Quest store are making revenues in the millions. 33 titles have made more than 10 million in gross revenue, and that's up from 22 just this February. And the number of apps making over $5 million has doubled since last year. This is what it looks like when a whole new platform takes off.
Yeah, and it shows that there's real demand for high-quality VR experiences.
When Quest 2 first launched, the vast majority of time spent in VR was spent alone. Today, the majority of time spent is in multiplayer apps.
So in the future, when you're together with friends in Horizon Home, you'll be able to watch and share YouTube videos just like you might do together in the physical world. Watch videos together, share content from your favorite creators, or experience something completely new.
And today, we're announcing a multi-year collaboration to bring NBC Universal's iconic content to life through experiences in the Metaverse. Starting next year, Meta and NBCU will co-create experiences around The Office, Universal Monsters, DreamWorks, Blumhouse, Halloween Horror Nights, and so much more. Fans will be able to engage in these experiences in Horizon Worlds, at Universal Studios theme parks, and customize their avatars. Last but not least, the Peacock app is coming to Quest.
The Metaverse should be accessible across all kinds of screens and devices, and you should be able to jump in and join your friends from anywhere.
That's why we're developing Horizon Worlds on the web, so that you can access it from a computer or any mobile device. If you're watching a comedy show, for example, you can send the link to your friends and they can join without a headset, no matter where they are.
This is going to be the first way a lot of people around the world experience a virtual world.
For sure. And while the web doesn't give the full VR experience, it opens it to an entirely new population of developers, creators, and people.
And when you see something amazing in a virtual world, you'll also be able to capture and share it.
We're now testing a way for you to take a video in Horizon Worlds and easily share it straight to Instagram as a reel. This will be one of the very early connections between Meta's apps and Horizon Worlds, and there'll be a lot more to come.
So the ways people can experience these virtual spaces are evolving fast, but the tools you need to actually build them also matter. And so we've got some great news for creators here too. You'll be able to use TypeScript, a powerful scripting language, to make more dynamic and interactive worlds. And we're making it so you'll be able to import tri-mesh items into Horizon Worlds and build parts of your world using 3D content creation tools like Maya, Blender, and Adobe Substance 3D.
These are high-quality tools that professionals use to build in 3D. And one of the main benefits of supporting them is the graphics quality they produce. Now, it will take a while to integrate all of these tools, but the result will be things looking a whole lot better.
This is one of the most important pieces. We started with simple graphics, and we're doing a ton of work to meaningfully improve how Horizon will look and feel over the next year. The Metaverse needs to feel inspiring.
We're working with Epic Games to bring Creative Commons licensed content from the Sketchfab library to Horizon Worlds.
At the other end of the spectrum, you have probably the most established part of the ecosystem, gaming. If you want an example of just how fast this platform is growing, take a look at The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners from Skydance Interactive. It's now surpassed $50 million in revenue on Quest alone, nearly double its revenue from all other platforms.
Or look at Zenith The Last City from Ramen VR. It took only 24 hours for it to make its first million in revenue on the Quest store. And Resident Evil 4 from Capcom and Armature Studios made $2 million its first day. Blade and Sorcery Nomad from Warp Frog made its first million in just 2 days. A number of other devs have also done so in as little as 3 days.
To date, $1.5 billion has been spent on games and apps in the Quest store. But there's so many more still to come. And today we're going to share a few of them with you.
Marvel's Iron Man VR has been one of those dream projects for us. We've been fans since it launched, and we could not be more excited for the talented teams at Camouflage and Endeavor One to bring the game to MetaQuest 2 this November, along with our partners at Sony Interactive Entertainment and Marvel Entertainment. Next is the multiplayer phenomenon, Population 1, which is evolving in a big way this December, with the debut of Population 1 Sandbox, a robust, user-generated map creator. You can take the action anywhere, limited only by your imagination. A moon base, a Viking village, or a fight with swords in zero-G. The team at Big Box VR is excited to bring endless replayability to Population 1.
That looks awesome. But I'm pumped for the next title, though.
Inner Sloth, Robot Teddy, and Shell Games will release Among Us VR for ages 13+ on MetaQuest 2 on November 10th. And pre-orders open today. Soon you'll be betraying friends from a first-person perspective. This next title is also fun, but in a more terrifying way. It's time to check the itinerary for our upcoming trip to New Orleans.
Now, we promised folks the next installment in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners series would be out later this year.
Let's take a look at Skydance Interactive's Chapter 2, Retribution.
Well, look at you, tourist. The living getting more desperate. Guess you ain't the only one who thrives on creating havoc. Wherever the tourist goes, death ain't far behind.
It's 2 years in the making, and new faces, places, weapons, gear, and loot await you as you head towards a final showdown that will decide the fate of New Orleans.
All right, and we have one more to show, right?
Right. Our friends at Skydance have also been working on something new. Users globally return to Quest 2 for fitness every month, and VR fitness apps can be just as intense as a regular workout. There are a lot of VR titles that bring the burn, such as Les Mills Body Combat, FitXR, and Supernatural. And they're always getting better, bringing on new instructors, classes, and moves.
Speaking of which, at the end of this month, Supernatural is launching knee strikes to better activate your core and work your lower body.
That's right, people are going to be pumped for that one. Now, we've got one more fitness experience that's making the move from App Lab. Gym Class is coming to the Quest store later this fall.
And one thing you learn is that when you work out in VR, you're gonna work up a sweat.
So to help people stay active with confidence while keeping their headsets clean, later this month, we're releasing the Meta Quest 2 Active Pack, available online in the Meta store on October 25th. This is our fitness accessory bundle with a wipeable facial interface, wrist straps, and adjustable knuckle straps to provide the perfect combination of comfort and control.
And this is just the beginning. We're working with leading hardware makers to bring more accessories to Quest starting next year.
There's more we can do to unlock the power of the platform for fitness overall. This year, we shipped one of the features a lot of you were asking for: fitness tracking on the MetaQuest companion app and the health app on iOS.
We've seen how important these kinds of foundations are for developers. So this fall, we're releasing the Fitness API Beta for select developers. It lets people share real-time fitness data and unlock things like custom stats or new levels based on the progress that they're making.
And in case you're the kind of person who needs some external motivation, next year we're also releasing a new way to share your fitness progress with selected friends, so they can support you along the way.
As you've seen so far, you can have a lot of fun in VR. You can hang out with friends, do a workout, play a game. Sometimes you can do all three at once. But you can also get work done.
Yeah, I mean, this is where VR just lets you do things that aren't even possible on a 2D screen.
It's a whole new kind of creative tool. Puma and New Balance have been designing shoes in VR using Gravity Sketch, one of my favorite 3D design apps on Quest 2. Novartis uses Nanome, a VR molecular design and collaboration app in their drug discovery workflow. And ITC, a part of the United Nations, are running trainings and workshops in Arthur, a virtual office space on Quest 2.
Yeah, you can really collaborate at a distance in a completely new way here. And there's a lot more that we can do to unlock this for teams across all kinds of industries. We built Horizon Workrooms as a first step towards a virtual office in the metaverse. It feels more like being there than any video call. You see more of people's body language, and the spatial audio gives you a sense of each person's place in the room. And you can have side conversations with the people sitting next to you or gesture without physically being there together. It's hard to fully wrap your head around this until you get to experience it.
We've been holding a bunch of our team meetings and workrooms over the last year, and it's amazing how much better it can be. There's just something magical about creating that feeling of being around people. Once you've experienced it, you know it's the future.
So we're continuing to improve the Workrooms experience, and starting early next year, you're going to be able to join Workrooms through Zoom too. We're also introducing breakout groups, so your team can shift from a big group presentation into smaller discussions in the same room. And with sticky notes for whiteboarding, you're going to be able to have group discussions and brainstorm in ways that you just can't do on video alone. We're also working on a new feature to import and review 3D models in a workroom, which is going to be really helpful for design and architecture and all kinds of other creative work.
We want this to be more than virtual meeting rooms. It's about the beginning of a virtual office in the metaverse. And that's why we're launching your personal office in Workrooms today. So you might only have a 13-inch laptop in your physical space, but in your virtual office, you can line up 3 huge monitors. This is great at home or at work, and even better when you're traveling. Eventually, we think your Quest could be the only monitor that you'll actually need.
You know, we're still early in the shift to working in the metaverse, but the way people can collaborate in Workrooms shows that there's an opportunity for a VR headset designed from the ground up to be great for work, as well as playing games and hanging out. So we've taken everything we've learned from Quest 2 and designed an all-new headset to do just that. This is Meta Quest Pro. Quest Pro is the first in our new line of advanced headsets, built to expand what's possible in VR. It takes what people love about Quest 2 and adds a bunch of new technologies to help you do more in the metaverse.
Quest Pro is our sleekest form factor yet, with a super thin set of lenses at the front and our first ever curved cell battery at the back to give it a perfect balance. We wanted to ensure a seamless transition from the physical world to the virtual. So our new headset design with its open periphery lets you see the physical room you're in. But you can also use Quest Pro's magnetic light blockers for a more immersive experience whenever you like.
We've also redesigned the whole optical stack to make it better than anything we've shipped before. The new pancake lenses work by folding light over several times and let us make the display 40% thinner compared to Quest 2.
The new lenses aren't just thinner, they also put more pixels in the center, giving you sharper, clearer visuals, which makes reading text a whole lot easier.
And thanks to our new local dimming technology, 75% more contrast, with richer and more vibrant colors that just make VR even more engaging. This is also our first device to use the new Snapdragon XR2 Plus processor, and this is the first new chip from our deep partnership with Qualcomm.
And don't forget, the touch controllers are also new. The new sensors track their position in 3D space all on their own without using the headset, so you can get a full 360-degree range of motion. And they include our new True Touch haptics, which give a wider and more precise range of feedback effects.
So when you pick them up, they also feel a lot more balanced and natural in your hands without that LED ring.
You can even add a stylus tip on the controllers, turning them into tools for writing or sketching. You can try this on the whiteboard in Workrooms, where you just flip them around and write directly against your own physical desk. We also thought a lot about how to help you keep the headset charged and ready to go the moment you get an incoming call or just want to get something done. So we're including an all-new charging dock that fits great on your workspace and keeps both the headset and controllers charged at the same time. Another key technology for enabling collaborative meetings virtually is mixed reality.
We built mixed reality into our SDKs for Quest 2 to make it easy for developers to start experimenting. But these experiences are so compelling that you really want a device that's designed from the ground up with them in mind.
Absolutely. Quest Pro uses high-resolution cameras that capture 4 times as many pixels as Quest 2, and an additional RGB camera to turn pass-through into full color, along with a depth system made to understand your environment and work with it. Another big part of Quest Pro is how much more expressive you can be. You can see here how people's avatars reflect their expressions and reactions. This makes your shared social experiences so much stronger.
This is a high-end device designed for work and for people who want the best experience that we can build today. We're really excited to get this into your hands, and it's available for pre-order starting today for $14.99, and it ships on October 25th. And we're not the only ones who are optimistic about the future of work in the metaverse.
Autodesk is updating their collaborative design review app to take advantage of the new possibilities unlocked by the Quest Pro.
And Adobe is also working to help people get more done in VR. Next year, they'll begin releasing a suite of apps for professional 3D creators, designers, and artists, from collaborative design reviews to Substance 3D Modeler using Quest Pro's controllers. And there's one more partnership that I want to highlight today that I think is going to be really important to the future of the metaverse. Microsoft has been at the heart of work and computing since the earliest days. And as Quest Pro makes new kinds of work possible in VR, I'm really excited to be able to work with them. So to talk more about this, I'm here with Microsoft's chairman and CEO, Satya Nadella.
We're taking an approach to ensure that our software can benefit users on all their favorite devices. And that's why I'm so thrilled about what we're announcing today and how we're bringing together the power of many of our most popular productivity tools with the new VR devices you're announcing. We are bringing Microsoft Teams' immersive meeting experience to MetaQuest in order to give people new ways to connect with each other. You can connect, share, collaborate as though you were together in person. And in the future, you'll be able to use other avatars, including meta avatars, in immersive experiences in Teams meetings too.
Another piece of this is that we're working on enabling Horizon workrooms for Teams. So people will be able to join a Teams meeting directly from workrooms. And we think that this kind of cross-device, cross-screen experience will be the foundation of the virtual office of the future. But this goes beyond Teams. Another big piece of your work platform is coming to Quest, right?
So with Microsoft 365 coming to Quest, you'll be able to interact with sort of content from all your favorite productivity apps, right? Whether it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, giving you even more flexibility in how you collaborate and get work done. And with Windows 365 coming to Quest, you'll have a new way to securely stream the entire Windows experience, including all the personalized apps, content, settings to your VR device with the full power of Windows and Windows applications.
And for bigger companies who want to roll out VR devices to their employees, we've also got some great news.
Yes, absolutely. Being able to manage and secure all devices connecting to your network is absolutely crucial for any business. And that's just as true for a VR headset as it is for a smartphone or a laptop. Azure Active Directory and Microsoft Intune in combination will support MetaQuest and MetaQuest Pro. This means companies that want to provision these devices can be confident that all security and management options they expect from PCs and mobile devices will carry over to VR.
Now, there's one final aspect of our partnership that I want to talk about, and that's gaming.
With xCloud Gaming, you can stream hundreds of games to any device, allowing you to connect with gamers in all new ways, whether they're right next to you or sitting on the other side of the world. And we're partnering to bring the service to MetaQuest Store. You'll be able to play 2D games with your Xbox controller projected on a massive screen on Quest. It's early days, but we're excited for what's to come.
We've spoken a lot about how Quest Pro opens up new possibilities for work, but that's far from the only thing it's going to enable. We can't wait to see what kind of experiences developers will be able to build with mixed reality. Take Beat Saber. It's already one of the most popular VR games of all time. And now imagine what it'll be like when you can turn wherever you are into a Beat Saber arena.
I wake up to the sounds of the silence that allows for my mind to run around with my ear up to the ground. I'm searching to behold the stories that I told when my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned.
And because we want everyone to be able to create things for the metaverse, not just professional developers, we're working on creator tools as well. So starting today, we're giving creators the ability to build interactive 3D objects in Spark Studio and begin testing them in mixed reality with the Spark player. Now, to find out what's next on the roadmap, we're going to need to shift gears. This is a preview of our next generation of avatars. They're so much more expressive and detailed than anything else today, and they have this unique meta style to them. I'm excited to start rolling these out later next year on phones, VR headsets, and more. We have some news about the Avatar Store too.
The Avatar Store is launching in VR later this year, so you'll be able to shop for virtual clothing in VR. We're joining with a bunch of partners across sports, entertainment, and more.
There's one more feature coming soon that's probably the most requested feature on our roadmap. Legs.
Legs, I know you've been waiting for this.
I think everyone has been waiting for this. With Quest Pro, our next generation avatars, and Horizon Worlds, we're making good progress on two of the most powerful windows into the metaverse: virtual reality for full immersion and mixed reality for blending physical and virtual worlds. Looking towards the future, the last set of experiences that need to get built is augmented reality. We're approaching building augmented reality glasses from two different angles. The first is building out all the technology we need for full AR glasses and then working to fit it into the best glasses form factor we can. The second approach is starting with the ideal form factor and working to fit more and more technology into it over time. Now, we took our first step forward on this last year when we partnered with EssilorLuxottica to introduce Ray-Ban Stories. You can take photos and videos, share them to Instagram, listen to music, or even take phone calls. And to talk more about what's coming, let's catch up with Rocco Basilico, the Chief Wearables Officer at EssilorLuxottica. So this is the first product that we built together, but we've got bigger plans. So do you want to give a hint of where we're going?
Well, we are working together on a new set of glasses to build a portal to the Metaverse. It's an exciting multi-year project.
All right, thanks, Rocco. A lot of the underlying technology for the future of computing is still in the research phase, but we have working demos of this stuff and it's pretty mind-blowing. And it wouldn't be Connect if we didn't share some of that with you. I've talked a lot about neural interfaces in our research on EMG before, and we now have a working demo that lets you control an AR or VR device with motor neuron signals. Now, I'm not going to show you the headset this year, but here's what I'm seeing while I'm using this. Just the gentlest flick of my thumb to check my messages, and with another quick movement, I can answer while I'm on the move, or I can even take a photo. Now, the goal here is to make these interfaces faster, higher bandwidth, and a lot more natural.
There's an important lesson to be learned from personal computing. What we saw there was that the interface to the digital world, the graphical user interface, was what defined the user experience and opened up new possibilities. Our challenge is that GUIs just can't do the job for glasses that have to work in all the situations we encounter in the course of a day, so we need something radically new. In the long run, I'm confident that the most powerful way to interact with the metaverse will be through personalized AI. Thanks to the glasses, AI will be able to understand your context and will use that to help you proactively, ideally, so seamlessly that you won't even notice. Now, combine that with electromyography technology, EMG, which uses the neuromuscular signals through your wrist directly as inputs, and you have an intuitive, almost frictionless interface. This will be the first truly human-centered interface. And a big part of that is that you won't have to learn how to use a rigid control scheme. Instead, the machine will learn and adapt to you as you use it. In neuroscience, this concept is known as co-adaptation. Here, you can see two people playing an arcade game with EMG. They're both using the same gesture, but because no two people are exactly alike, they do it in slightly different ways. The neural interface continuously gets better over time at understanding each person. The potential for co-adaptation extends beyond normal gestures into some truly novel territory.
Here, the algorithm is learning in real time how to respond to the EMG signals the person is sending with only the slightest of hand movements. The system is recognizing the actions the person has decided to perform by decoding those signals at their wrist and translating them into digital commands. And now, the person is able to communicate their intended actions to the computer with almost no hand movement. This is a genuine transformation in the way we interact with the digital world.
Yeah, this has the potential to redefine a lot of how we interact with computers. You know, if you think about the step change in capability that came with the mouse and graphical user interface, this should be another big step beyond that in speed and the bandwidth of our interfaces. And you know, this is one of the wildest projects I think that we're working on.
These future interfaces will be truly life-changing.
It's hard to build 3D objects from scratch. It's much quicker and easier to just use physical objects as templates.
Today, there's no easy way to do that. So we're researching two different technologies to solve that problem. The first one uses machine learning-based neural radiance fields to reconstruct the appearance of a 3D object from multiple 2D images taken at different angles. This method can reproduce even the finest details of an object.
We're gonna scan Teddy. Here's how it works. So we just scan him on the phone. Right now, this takes some processing time, so we got it ready beforehand so we could check it out. Oh, wow. The level of detail in this is impressive. You can kind of see all these fine elements of it, like each individual strand of its hair. And you can even see through the semi-transparent bow tie that he has on.
The second technology captures geometry and appearance directly.
So here we used a different technique called inverse rendering to scan an object into its digital twin and then bring it into augmented and virtual reality. And it responds dynamically to the lighting in the VR environment. And when you throw it in the air against a wall, or if you bounce it off the ground, it's going to respond the same way that the physical object would. So we used Spark to put the virtual object next to the physical one here. They're almost identical.
Neither approach is real-time yet, and each has its limitations. But the goal is to let you quickly and easily make physical objects a part of your virtual world. Of course, the most interesting virtual elements of all are other people in the form of avatars. And as you mentioned earlier, avatars will come in a variety of styles, but one thing I know for sure is that avatars that are photorealistic representations of users would be the most powerful remote connection technology that has ever existed. They would create genuine social presence in the sense of making you feel at a gut level like you are literally with other people, and would span personal distances in a way video conferencing can only dream of.
And I think that this is the ultimate goal of social technology.
Last year, we showed you early progress on full-body codec avatars.
And what sets codec avatars apart from other high-quality avatars that you might have seen is that they're fully drivable. So that means that they're not limited to preset movements or expressions. This is an avatar that you can control live in real time with no need to render or export video. So it can photorealistically reproduce individual people rather than just generic characters that artists designed.
Of course, securing your avatar will be critical. We're already thinking about things like encryption and tying your avatar to an authenticated account. But beyond privacy, we've continued to develop this technology. For example, it's now possible to change your virtual outfit whenever you want.
Cool as that is, it's the face, expressions, eye contact, slight motions that is most quintessentially human.
So these second-generation avatars are pretty amazing, right? They're much closer to how you might want to show up in a setting like a work meeting. So I made one of myself. Now we've made them a lot more expressive. And not just simple things like looking left, right, up, down, but also the nonverbal cues that we rely on to communicate with each other and understand tone. Things like raising an eyebrow, squinting, widening my eyes, or scrunching my nose. These avatars are way better at capturing those subtleties that define physical interactions. They're just much more natural. Now, these are awesome, but they also take a really long time to generate. So we're working on something that's a lot quicker for people to use.
All you need for the scan is your phone, and you can pretty much do this anywhere with reasonable lighting. She scans her face from different angles with a neutral expression for about 30 seconds, then spends another minute and a half making a variety of expressions. And that's really all there is to it.
Hi guys, my 3D avatar is ready for use in my phone or VR. It just took a few hours to generate after my scan, and the team's working on making that processing a whole lot faster. Now, obviously, this isn't the same quality as you just saw with the 2.0 codec avatars. However, they're still pretty expressive and realistic.
There's still plenty left to do, and everything we've just talked about is still research. It may or may not end up in our products, but it's definitely a glimpse of where technology is headed.
We're still early in this journey. The products that we showed today are a part of a roadmap that extends far into the future. Quest for consumers, Quest Pro for work and people who want the best VR experience that we can build today, and Ray-Ban Stories for smart glasses. And there are going to be more releases in each of these lines in the years to come, as well as whole new categories of products built for augmented reality and neural interfaces.